Hello, Mike Manu here, and for the last 40 years, I've been a serial entrepreneur, business coach, and helping business owners to grow their business using direct response marketing tactics and strategies. I've probably been involved with over 75 different industries, and not only myself, but my clients, we've done multiple 7, 8, and even 9-figure per year companies and even 9-figure products, single products we've taken to over 9 figures. That wasn't in 1 year, that was over a period of time. And today, if you stick around to the end, I'm going to show you how this marketing equation, I call it the IEEO, and what these letters represent, and how I use this formula to create this $100 million $100 million lifetime product since 2002. And the cost of the product is about $100. And I'm sure you've probably seen this in your email inbox or on a website someplace. And so I'm going to delve into this and let you know. And the reason why I'm doing this is a couple different reasons. One, I've recently started taking on some more clients. And number two, my son, who's 19, in the last 2 years has specialized in Facebook ads, Facebook marketing for local business owners and professionals. And so I'm trying to teach him some of the time-tested strategies and tactics that go into how to create the correct ads, how to look at an ad, how to make sure it's going to activate the right customer and not activate the wrong customer. And so I thought I'd do this little video and not only share it with him, but also share it to you. So stick around to the end. I'm going to give you this little formula, and then we can go from there. So the first letter on the list is I. So I stands for, obviously, interrupt. So the first thing necessary when creating an ad is you've got to interrupt the prospect, because I think with social media today, the attention span of most people is probably 6 or 7 seconds. So if you don't catch them right away, they're gone. And you can still apply this to newspapers and newsprint, and that is the same thing. Magazines, postcards, yellow pages. Yes, yellow pages still are effective, or brochures or flyers or any type of marketing you're doing. The first thing you've got to do is interrupt that prospect. And the only way you can do that is with very good headlines. And number two, with images, especially today with social media. Images is everything. I mean, you're scrolling through your news feed, whether on Facebook or Twitter now or YouTube or wherever, and it's that first image that grabs your attention. And if it grabs your attention, then you usually will go to the next spot. And the couple things you need to do here is, in order to get a great image or a great headline, is you have to really know your product or service. What are the hot buttons? What are the hot buttons for your prospective client going to be? And so that's the most critical thing here, is you got to interrupt them. The second thing is you've got to engage them. And this is probably a step that I see so many business owners, even marketers, they screw up in this part of it. They'll give a great image, a great headline, and then they drop the ball in the next step. Engaging is about giving a promise that the info that they're about to read, if they take their time and energy, will give them enough information to make a decision about your company, your product, your service. That was the main reason why they interrupted it. In a little more psychological aspect here, your brain thinks in two different formats, either alpha or beta. And in alpha, it's kind of like you drive to work one day and you get to work and you're like, wow, I don't remember driving past the corner drugstore. I don't remember seeing the kids at the bus. You don't remember anything because you're like in a zone. That's alpha mode. And beta mode is when something, maybe you're driving and it's in the pouring rain and you're like this on your steering wheel and you're noticing everything. Or how about that time you go and you buy a new car and you're driving down the street and you swear every time you look left or right, you see the exact same model, car, color, everything that you either just bought or what you're looking to buy. Happens all the time. That's because your brain has now been programmed, the reticular activator, that boom, it snaps out of it when it sees that type of vehicle. And it goes for everything in life. So in the engaging part of this, you've got to get them engaged. You've got to let them know that if they keep going, it's going to solve that problem you identified up here in the eruption. So it's kind of like when you scroll through Facebook and you see that really cute or hot chick because the marketer's trying to trick you into looking, and then it's about some kind of garbage that you're not even interested in. Well, boom, after the initial instinct of the reticular activator being activated, it just goes right back to alpha and you keep on scrolling. So the next step on the engagement is you've got to give them something that ties into the interruption, which would be the headline or the image, and also into the next step, which is the education process. So this right here is the next part. So during the education process, you've got to identify all the relevant reasons why your prospective prospect would want to engage with your business, your service. You've got to build a case for your business. What are all the positive attributes and why they should do business with you? And they have to be able to think logically, because in today's marketplace, the consumer's in control, the prospect's in control. They're able to research, they're able to check everything out, they're able to know whether your product, your service, are you ripping them off? Is the price? And if you're competing on price all the time, it's because you haven't done a very good job in educating your prospect on why they should do business with you and nobody else. So the education process is very important, and give them enough information to make an informed decision, whether they're ready to buy or not. And that would lead you to the next O of the marketing equation, which is the offer. Now, the offer is not necessarily to get them to buy, okay? The offer is to help them take a risk-free step along the buying path. Now, that could be providing them more information in the form of a brochure, a video, a webinar. It could be the ability to call up and make an appointment to come in and test drive a new car. But you've got to put that in the hands of the buyer, in the hands of the consumer. It's got to be where they're raising their hand because it's their idea that they want to buy from you, not that you're trying to sell to them. And in today's marketplace, too many people still try to do that pushing, as opposed to letting the consumer be the one that makes that buying decision to call you, to engage with you. And when you do this, then you're going to get the right results every single time, okay? And one of the most important things is that most businesses, this would be the educational scale, I'll call it. And this is really a whole video in itself on how to use this to your advantage. But this would be over here, let's call it the letter A. This is Z. This is the buying, educational or buying scale. And most marketers today, or business today, we'll call this the letter U, only operate within this maybe 5% of the people that are ready to buy your particular product or service today. Hence, you see companies always discounting products, having sales, buy one, get one free, free shipping, all these different things, because we're all competing within this very narrow margin of buyers that have actually woke up this morning that want to get their house painted, want to get their roofing done. We're going to go see a doctor. We're going to go look at new cars. And everybody totally neglects this 95% of the marketplace, which is where all the money's at. That's where the gold's at. So you've got to create in your marketing effort, in everything you do, is a way that when somebody sees in their news feed, or somebody sees your ad in the newspaper or whatever, and they go, yeah, well, I was thinking about, getting the house painted, but I'm not really ready today. But if you can take them down this pipeline and get them to take some kind of action down here on the offer that gives you the ability to re-engage with them over the next 6 months when they were looking to get the house painted, then you can take them down this educational spectrum to when they're down here, they're ready to buy. And guess what? They're not looking for a discount. They're not looking for a special deal. Why? Because when they wake up and they talk to their wife and say, hey, I think we're ready to get the house painted, or it's summertime, the weather's changed, the only company they're going to think about is your company. And that's what you want, because the rest of the guys aren't doing it. They're working in this area here. You're all fighting for crumbs, and nobody's thinking about the 95% of the people that are over in this area. And that's the key to the marketing. That's where the fortunes are made, and that's where you need to be if you're doing this stuff yourself, or you're working with a marketing team or an agency or what have you. They need to be here. But in today's world, with the availability of the internet, it's just so easy for anyone to throw up a shingle and say, oh, I'll help you, and all they do is worry about selling today, not worrying about these guys here that are ready to buy over the six to next 12 months. And in today's marketplace, it's so easy to keep these people and educate them for pennies, if not free, over that time period. Okay, so I told you I'd tell you the story about this one company. It was 2002, and I was doing some consulting work. I was actually helping to set up a company in Northern California, Central Coast area, in the health supplement business. And I got this email from a company that I got it, and I recognized that I was actually the prospect that he was trying to talk to. He's not very good. He'd been in business about 60 days, and it was for a snoring product. And I was in my early 30s, I identified with some of the symptoms that he put in that email that I did, and I go, wow, this is me. I need to contact this guy because, one, I want to try the product. Number two, I think the marketing sucks. So needless to say, I contacted the guy. We engaged. He engaged my services. I flew back east to Florida. We signed a nice little contract, and that first year we did $3 million in sales. And we did that with a couple different things. Number one, his advertising was like everybody else. He had his company name on there because he was really proud of his business, but nothing to engage the average person to get them a buy. And so the first thing I did was create the headline, and the headline I created was, "Are you snoring yourself to death?" Well, and I put it in red, which all the experts at that time said, you can't do that. It's a negative. It's a downer. You don't want to use red. It's the wrong color. I said, listen, test this out. So we ended up that first year, we did $3 million, a couple different reasons why. One was this, and then we created an engaging. We then had I dug up and found an article from the medical profession on, I think it was like at that time, 39,000 people a year die in their sleep from snoring, which is a huge number, which automatically now I go, so if you're reading that ad and you say, yeah, I snore, what do you mean I can die? And you go down and you see a major Harvard study or wherever it was that says 40,000 people a year die in their sleep. It's also the number 2 cause of accidents and fatalities on the highways right after drunk driving. You're going to go, wow, what's, I want to know more about it. It led it down to here. We educated them about the cause and the symptoms and how you could correct it. And then we gave them an offer, which was we drove them to a website to buy the product because it was kind of an emotional buy. He was selling the product for $44.95. I thought it was too cheap for something that could literally save your life. We ended up going to $59.97, and the number of sales went up and the conversion rate went up. And to this day, he then jumped it up a few years later to, I think it's like $117 for one, and you get a second one free. Second free, whatever, you get it. I was gone at this point in time, but that's a great way. It's more value. They think they're getting a deal. But that product in the last, from 2002 to today, has done over $100 million. $100 million with one product because we found a way to interrupt our target market. We then engaged them. We created validation on why this product worked and why they needed to fix their problem. And then we made an offer they couldn't refuse. We also did a couple other things that's a topic for another subject, but is that we also created some upsells of products that people would need if they snored that went hand in hand with this. So anyway, so that's how this IEEO helped me take one client to a $100 million product in 15, 16 years, and it runs on autopilot now. I mean, it's just automatic. Everything's fulfilled automatically. Everything's done. So again, if you're not doing these things, if you need to sit down and analyze your marketing, your strategies, your tactics, and if you do, the sky's the limits. The other thing is start doing something with all these people here and stop competing on price because it's not smart. So anyway, appreciate it. Hope you got some value out of this. If you did, give me a like, give me a heart, leave me a comment below. Like the page if you want because I'm going to be putting out some more of these in videos. Again, I'm trying to do this to educate my son who's now coaching business owners, and it's good for me to stay back in the flow. And who knows, every now and then I take on a client here and there, and who knows, maybe that might be you. So, and if you know someone this could be of value to, also share that with them as well. just hit the share button and share it with them or share it with your friends. So anyway, appreciate it. Thanks for your time. Peace out.